Photographers of Reddit, what is the most outrageous photo shoot request you have received from an Instagram influencer? Someone I know wanted photos of their kid with every Disney princess-inspired character, Mermaid, Alice, Snow White, etc. A total of 7 characters to showcase the photos at the birthday party. Project would have panned out for at least 2 weeks considering the amount of work involved in getting each costume and setup completed. For the mermaid, the closest beach is a 45-minute drive. I was excited because I thought about how cool this would be for my portfolio, but when it came time to talk about price, I think I said something like $400. I was trying to be nice since it was someone I knew. Choosing beggar got offended that I would charge her so much considering she was only getting digital files. I walked away from that one. I was invited to their kid's birthday party. I don't know what happened, but I think I got sick and couldn't make it. Well, they got pissed because they thought that by inviting me that I would naturally bring my camera to take photos of the party. WTFFFFFF. ETA. I realize this is not an influencer thing of Instagram. I'll leave it because of the hideousness of it all, but I apologize if it doesn't fit with the sub. I had the girlfriend of a D-list celebrity try to get me to take cheesy couples photographs of them. I'm a fashion editorial photographer, mind you, not a family portrait taker, by saying he was in Moonlight. He's very successful. When I replied with my prices, she literally argued with me about it for 4 emails about how great it would be for me to do it for free, when eventually I told her to go find someone else. If he's very successful, he can pay me $200 surely. Another photographer around here did it for free and neither she nor the photos got any exposure from it whatsoever. Shocking face with rolling eyes. Thomas Midletich did ask me to take his photo a couple of years ago, which I really wish I would have done, but I was across the country at the time. Now that would have been worthwhile exposure. I shoot concerts frequently as a hobby, and I usually offer the artists some photos in exchange for a media pass and tell them they can do anything with the images that I print or being sold. 90% of the time people have zero issues with that and agree happily, except rapper Made in Tokyo or whatever his name is. He asked me to pay him a $300 photography fee to shoot his concert on top of having the ability to do whatever he wants with the images. I told him LOL no thanks and immediately stopped messaging him. He then messaged me twice more asking for $200 then $100 before I blocked him on social media. Well, I'm a boudoir photographer on the side of also being a fashion SFW photographer, and I've had a request years ago to shoot a spiritual group self-masturbation orgy event. At the time I was way too new to the boudoir and erotic side of photography in general to go through with it. Honestly, if it were today, I would have totally done it and blogged about it. Not photography, but I make videos, full productions for major clothing sports brands. I get a SHT load of influencers and models that are dying to be in the videos. One even tracked me down on Tinder after I blocked her on Instagram, begging that she would be way better than all the models with a professional portfolio and agency. Did a casting call on Instagram once. Worst mistake ever. There is a huge difference in being an Instagram model influencer and an actual professional model. Yes, we need to know all your sizes. Yes, ALL your sizes. I couldn't give a SHT about which cup hip shoe size you have, but productions needs to know how else are they gonna make clothing that fits you exactly. No, you can't take photos, vlog on set. You're getting paid to model, not to influence. No, you can't post those photos until 6 months after, when the clothing line gets released. Yes, you have to wear winter clothes in summer and summer clothes in winter and shoot for 10 hours a day. Sometimes I believe being a model is even harder than being in the crew. At least I can look like I'm dying after the 3rd day. They still have to look pretty. Not a photographer, but I recently got back from the Dominican, and while there, a girl spent roughly 40 minutes sitting on a paddleboard and standing in the ocean striking new poses for what I can only assume was her Instagram. The time invested in being artificially genuine is sickening. I was asked to do a boudoir shoot featuring blood, bondage and vampires. People biting each other by a very well-established children's show staff producer back in Toronto. Edit. I wasn't expecting such a huge response so quickly. So in answer to your questions, it was a woman. I didn't do it, as I can't have my name associated with shoots in that field. Nude, boudoir, BDSM, because I work with global brands in the food, property and portraits industry. The risk factor was too high for the pay, and that kind of thing has never been my style. Despite being asked many times to do these types of shoots as a female photographer, the show has been around since the mid-90s. It was extremely famous back in the day. That's all I can say. If you're American, there's a good chance you've seen at least one episode. I wish I could name drop, but I haven't been granted permission to do so by the producer, for obvious reasons. A related story, but exactly what OP is asking for. We were on a road trip and at the Tokitty Falls near Southern Oregon. Now this falls is located at the end of a trail about a mile long. The trail leads to a vantage point that's about 40 to 50 feet above the fall. If you are a rock climber, then you can probably scramble to the base of the falls, but it's quite a scary endeavor. The day we were there, we saw two influencer couples at the parking lot. We noticed them because the girls stripped down to their skimpy bikinis at the parking lot and they had some snorkeling gear as well. Now this is a pretty popular spot on Insta, and so the parking lot was packed with quite a lot of kids and families around. They started the hike the same time as us and were planning on various poses and shots the whole time. Finally we reached the end of the trail and they realized that all those cool shots on Insta means scrambling 30 feet down a wet rock face to the bottom of the falls. The disappointment was palpable that day. The bickering while hiking back was even better. It still cracks me up to think about that day. I had a client ask me to Photoshop his head onto another guy's body because he liked the shirt the other guy was wearing more than his own. I actually did it because it was hilarious and he paid me for it.